Hello, welcome to Tina McDonald's Counselling Conversations, and today's waffle's going to be about DNA results and that whole process. I'm always struck by the adverts. Everybody's going to find somebody that was Emily Pankhurst's friend, everybody's going to find a war hero, but actually that's not necessarily what happens. Reasons for doing the test are many and really varied. And so I think that's the starting point for the conversation. What we expect to find out are not always what we will find out. And because of that, I think our reasons for opening what is in effect Pandora's box have to be deep enough rather than just a surface level, let's see if we can find, because what you might get back is the last thing you were expecting. And so these results are based on biology, they're on your DNA. And so the difference between the actual results and the family stories, there are no guarantees that they're going to match. And they might not be what you think you already know. This impacts everything. It might be helpful when looking at some of these results to also maybe touch in with some of the videos that I've done on YouTube before. For example, expectations of others, because when you take a DNA test, your expectations of others are not actually based on you and what you might find out. They are actually only about others. What have they done? What have they not done? Who have they been involved with? Who will be impacted by this? And all of those things, when you look at the expectations of others, it might be a helpful start. Of course, the other, I hope, helpful video might well be boundaries, because when you get results that you don't expect, then perhaps your boundaries come into play, because they might well be pushed up against. In that, moral boundaries, you could find out all sorts of different things than you had originally thought, and that then impacts your moral code and your boundaries around truth-telling. People that you've had relationships with for years might be on the other end of not telling the truth, of different situations than you had as expectations. So I hope that those other videos, if need be, might help understand how all of that might then play out. Part of the expectations of others are also that inherent indignance. What do you mean they told other people and they didn't tell us? There might be somebody who knew this secret, but not you. How dare they do that? But actually, none of this was initially in the storytelling about you, because you're the end result. But actually, the decisions around that, they're only expectations of others. And then, of course, connecting that to the boundaries, things are then based on lies, on untruths, on interactions that you are perhaps the result of, or somebody close to you is the result of, and how will that impact those relationships? Reviewing them because they are now different. So counselling can offer a unique space to be able to talk through all of this, because this can be a traumatic event. It can be shocking to find out things and people that you knew or thought you knew were actually based on sand, not based on truth at all. And then, of course, there's the other layers that, again, a counselling conversation can help. A safe, non-judgmental space for you to be able to look through your own judgments and your own inquiries and curiosity, A child can be conceived in a one-off event. A child can also be conceived through a long-term affair, traumatic event, an unwanted pregnancy. So this also opens up deep conversations, complex issues around sense of self, you within the family unit within you. And then, of course, there's the other side of a DNA result that shows up something that's not quite right. And that is this unsuspecting family then find there's a biological sibling, cousin, aunt, uncle, whatever it is, grandchild. And they also have all of this complex curiosity and understanding. And that can go different ways too. They might not want to know. They might want to know, and you don't want to know, around relationships and information. Or they're people that are on the other side of the world and are no longer alive, or all of those things. So it's very complex. And I think every time I see these videos, and I think every time I see these adverts, it never fails to impact how wonderful it all seems. But sometimes reality is very different. So it's back to that old question that I kind of said at the beginning. The reasons for doing the test have to be valid enough to understand that potentially it is Pandora's box, and that when it explodes, it might not just be you that's impacted, or the impact might not be yours, but might be a loved one's. Just opening the curiosity around it, because I think it needs to be spoken about in a more realistic way than everything's always going to be wonderful, because life isn't like that, because we're all people. So I hope that opened conversations, gave some curiosity around a difficult subject, and maybe the video's been of help to begin that conversation for yourself. As always, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.